"I'll marry the first man who walks in," said the millionaire. But when the door opened, a black janitor stepped in. Sutton Whitmore stood in her father's study, surrounded by her family and their chosen candidate for her hand in marriage. Thaddeus Pemberton, a wealthy investment banker who made her skin crawl. "Sutton, darling, you're 32, her mother Cordelia said with exasperation. "Thaddeus is perfect, wealthy, connected, from a good family. What more do you want?" "I want to choose my own husband." "Is that so unreasonable? You've been choosing for 32 years, and you're still single," her father Sterling interjected. "Thaddeus is an excellent match. The merger of Whitmore Industries and Pemberton Investments would be highly advantageous." "So this is a business merger, not a marriage?" "All marriages in our circles are business arrangements," Thaddeus said smoothly. "We'd be compatible partners, Sutton. I can provide the lifestyle you're accustomed to. I don't need you to provide anything. I'm worth $50 million on my own." "Then what's the problem? We're suited for each other." "We're not suited at all. Thaddeus, you're boring, pretentious, and you've been seeing your secretary for the past 6 months. Don't think I don't know." The room went silent. Thaddeus had the grace to look embarrassed. "That's irrelevant to our arrangement." "It's completely relevant. I'm not marrying someone who cheats before we're even engaged. I'm not marrying you, Thaddeus. Not today, not ever." "Sutton!" Sterling's voice was sharp. "You're being unreasonable. I'm being honest. And you know what? I'm so tired of you all trying to control my life. Fine. You want me married? I'll marry the very next man who walks through that door. No questions, no background checks, no arranged meetings. The first man who enters, that's who I'll marry. How's that for a decision?" Her best friend Waverly, who'd been watching the drama unfold, looked alarmed. "Sutton, you can't be serious." "I'm completely serious. The next man through that door is my future husband. Watch me." "This is childish," Cordelia protested. "You're having a tantrum. I'm making a choice. You wanted me to choose. I'm choosing the first man who walks in." As if on cue, the study door opened. Everyone turned. A black man in a janitor's uniform entered, pushing a cleaning cart. He looked startled to see the room full of people. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize anyone was in here. I can come back." "No," Sutton said quickly, her heart pounding as she realized what she'd just committed to. "What's your name?" Kellen Wade. I'm with building maintenance. I was just supposed to empty the trash." "Kellen Wade," Sutton said, her voice shaking but determined. "I just declared that I'd marry the first man who walked through that door. Congratulations, you're engaged." The silence was deafening. Kellen stared at her like she'd lost her mind. "I'm sorry, what?" "You heard me. I made a promise. The first man through the door, that's you." "Ma'am, I think there's been some confusion. I'm just here to clean." "Sutton, this is insane," Sterling interrupted. "You can't marry the janitor." "Why not? I made a declaration. Everyone here witnessed it. I'm a woman of my word." "But he's—" Cordelia started, then caught herself. "He's what, Mother? Say it. He's black? He's a janitor? He's not from our social class?" "Those are exactly the reasons I'm going through with this. To prove that your prejudices and your arranged marriages are meaningless." "This is a joke," Thaddeus said. "You're making a point. Fine. Point made. Now let's discuss our actual engagement." "There is no engagement with you. Kellen, I have a proposition. Hear me out before you run." Kellen looked completely overwhelmed, but something in Sutton's desperate expression made him stay. "I'm listening. My family wants me married to combine business interests. I want freedom from their control. So here's my offer. Marry me. I'll pay you $100,000 up front, plus $10,000 monthly for as long as the marriage lasts. In exchange, you pretend to be my husband, attend family events, and help me maintain independence from my controlling family. We can divorce in a year, 2 years, whenever this arrangement has served its purpose. What do you say? You're offering me money to fake marry you? Yes, I know it's insane, but I'm desperate, and you happen to walk in at exactly the right or wrong moment. Will you do it?" Kellen should have said no, should have walked out immediately. But looking at this desperate blonde woman, offering him more money than he'd make in 5 years, thinking about his mother's medical bills and his sister's college tuition, he heard himself say something equally insane. "Yes, I'll marry you." Hello, my Stop Racism family. Thank you for tuning in today. Before we dive deeper into this beautiful love story, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your country and state in the comments below. Also, I'd love to know your thoughts. What did you think of the story so far? Do you believe love can truly conquer prejudice? Let us know in the comments. We love reading them. And trust me, your words motivate us to keep making these videos. Let's make this video reach at least 50 comments. Your support means the world to us, and it drives us to create even more meaningful content for you. So don't forget to comment, share, and keep spreading love. The chaos that followed Kellen's agreement was immediate and loud. "You cannot be serious," Sterling roared. "Sutton, I forbid this." "You can't forbid anything. I'm an adult with my own money. I don't need your permission." "But a janitor." "Sutton, think about what you're doing." "I'm thinking clearly for the first time in years." "Kellen, can we speak privately?" In a side office, away from her family's shouting, Sutton faced the man she'd just impulsively agreed to marry. "I know this is insane," she said. "You have every right to walk away." "But Kellen, I meant what I said. $100,000 up front, $10,000 monthly. All you have to do is pretend to be married to me." "Why me?" "Why would you marry a complete stranger?" "Because you're not Thaddeus. Because my family can't control this choice. And honestly, because the look on my mother's face when you walked in was worth everything. But I need you to understand. This is a business arrangement. You'd be doing me a service, and I'd compensate you fairly. A business arrangement to fake a marriage. Do you hear how crazy that sounds?" "I do." "But is it any crazier than arranged marriages for business mergers? At least, we're being honest about the transaction." Kellen studied her. "What do you get out of this besides annoying your family?" "Freedom, control over my own life, proof that I won't be manipulated into a loveless marriage with someone like Thaddeus. My trust fund has conditions. I don't get full access until I'm married or turn 40. This marriage gets me my money and my independence 8 years early. So you're using me to access your trust fund. I'm offering you significant compensation for helping me access what's already mine." "Kellen, what would $100,000 do for you?" He was quiet for a moment. "My mother needs surgery she can't afford. My sister's in college but struggling with tuition. That money would change their lives. Then let me help change them, in exchange for helping me." "And what happens when your family investigates me? When they find out I'm a janitor with student debt and a mother on Medicaid? Then they find out. I don't care about your background. I care that you're not Thaddeus and you walked through that door at exactly the right moment. Or the wrong moment, maybe. But Kellen, we both get something we need from this. That's not wrong, that's practical. When would this happen? The wedding? As soon as possible. I'll have my lawyer Whitman draw up a contract. Everything in writing, all terms clear. We can get married at City Hall this week." "This week? That's fast. I don't want to give my family time to sabotage this." "Kellen, I need an answer. Are you in or out?" He thought about his mother's mounting medical bills, his sister Imani's worried calls about dropping out of school, the constant financial stress that defined his life. And he thought about this strange, desperate woman offering him a way out. "I'm in, but we do this legally, everything documented. I won't be accused of taking advantage of you." "Agreed. Partners?" She extended her hand. Kellen shook it, sealing the most insane agreement of his life. Back in the study, Sutton's announcement was met with expected resistance. "We're getting married this Friday at City Hall. You're all invited, but your attendance is optional. Kellen and I have made our decision. I'll have this marriage annulled," Sterling threatened. "On what grounds? I'm an adult entering into marriage willingly. There's nothing you can do." "Sutton, please think about this," Waverly pleaded. "You don't know this man. I know he's honest about what this is. That's more than I can say for Thaddeus." After everyone left in various states of fury and disbelief, Waverly pulled Sutton aside. "Are you really doing this? Marrying a janitor you met 5 minutes ago?" "I really am." "Why?" "And don't give me the trust fund excuse. There's something else." "There is. I'm tired, Waverly. Tired of being treated like property. Tired of arranged marriages and business mergers disguised as romance. Kellen represents choice. My choice. That matters. Even if it's a terrible choice. Even then, at least it's mine." 5 days later, Sutton and Kellen stood in a City Hall office, both wondering what insanity had led them to this moment. "You don't have to do this," Kellen said quietly while they waited for the officiant. "We can still walk away. Do you want to walk away? I want to make sure you're certain. Sutton, once we do this, we're legally married. That has consequences." "I'm certain. Are you?" Kellen thought about the $100,000 check Sutton's lawyer had given him that morning, half already deposited, half upon marriage completion. He thought about his mother's surgery scheduled for next month. now fully paid for. He thought about Imani's relieved tears when he'd sent her tuition payment. I'm certain. The ceremony was brief and awkward. Waverly attended as Sutton's witness, looking disapproving. Kellen's friend Callum attended as his witness, looking completely confused. Do you, Sutton Whitmore, take Kellen Wade to be your lawfully wedded husband? I do. Do you, Kellen Wade, take Sutton Whitmore to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. The kiss was brief, awkward, their first physical contact. It felt transactional because it was transactional. But something in that kiss felt less fake than Sutton expected. At lunch afterward, just the four of them at a quiet restaurant, Callum finally voiced his confusion. Okay, someone explain what just happened. Because 2 weeks ago, Kellen was a janitor. Now he's married to a millionaire. What am I missing? A business arrangement, Kellen explained. Sutton needed to get married to access her trust fund. I needed money for family medical expenses. We're helping each other. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. And yet, here we are, Sutton said. Legally married? For how long? Waverly asked. A year minimum, Sutton answered. Possibly 2. Long enough to satisfy the trust fund requirements and prove to my family I won't be controlled. And then we divorce amicably and go our separate ways. It's all in the contract. After lunch, reality set in. Sutton and Kellen returned to her penthouse, now technically their shared residence. This is your home? Kellen asked, looking at the stunning space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan. Our home now, technically. Kellen, we should discuss living arrangements. I have 3 bedrooms. You can have your own space. This marriage is legal, but it doesn't have to be intimate. Agreed. Separate bedrooms. We maintain the appearance of marriage in public, but in private, we're just roommates in a business arrangement. Exactly. Now, my family's throwing a reception this weekend. They're furious, but they won't skip the chance to scrutinize you. Are you prepared for that? Define prepared. They're going to be awful. Judgmental, classist, probably racist. They'll look for any reason to prove this marriage is fake or that you're using me. But I am using you. For money. Just like you're using me to access your trust fund. Right. But we can't let them know it's transactional. We have to appear genuinely in love. Can you do that? Fake being in love with you? I'm not an actor. Neither am I. But we're going to have to learn. Because if my family proves this marriage is a sham, the trust fund conditions won't be met. We both lose. So we fake it convincingly. Very convincingly. Which means we need to get to know each other. Actually know each other. Our story of how we fell in love needs to be believable. Over the next days, Sutton and Kellen built their cover story. They'd met when Kellen was cleaning her office building, had struck up conversations, developed feelings over time, was close enough to truth to be convincing. They also learned about each other beyond the transaction. Kellen shared his background, raised by a single mother after his father left, worked his way through community college while supporting his family, took the janitor job for benefits when his mother got sick. Sutton shared hers, raised in wealth but emotional neglect, parents who viewed her as a business asset rather than daughter, pressured to marry appropriately since adolescence. We're both trapped by circumstances, Kellen observed. You by wealth, me by poverty. This marriage is our mutual escape. Poetic way to describe a financial transaction. It's more than that though, isn't it? We're both choosing something different than what's expected. That's brave, even if the method is unconventional. Is it brave or desperate? Maybe both. But Sutton, thank you. For the money, yes. But also for treating me like a person instead of just a service provider. You could have been condescending about this arrangement. You've been respectful instead. You're doing me a favor as much as I'm doing you one. Mutual respect is basic decency. You'd be surprised how rarely basic decency exists in transactions between rich white women and poor black men. I expected you to be different. You're not. The observation stung. Because Sutton realized he was right. She could have been awful, and he'd expected it. That he was surprised by her treating him with respect revealed how low the bar was. I'm sorry you had to expect that. Don't apologize for what you didn't do. Just keep being decent. That's enough. The reception at the Whitmore estate was exactly as awful as predicted. Sutton's family and their social circle attended more to scrutinize than celebrate. So Kellen, Sutton's business partner Granger said with false friendliness, "Tell us about yourself. What do you do?" I'm in building maintenance and facilities management. Kellen answered carefully. Technically true without saying janitor. Fascinating. And how exactly did you meet Sutton? At her office building. We struck up conversations, discovered we had a lot in common. Things developed from there. How romantic. A janitor and a millionaire. Quite the modern fairy tale. The contempt was barely concealed. Sutton interjected sharply. Granger, was there a point to that comment, or are you just being an ass? I'm expressing surprise at this unexpected union. Surely you can understand our shock. What I understand is thinly veiled classism. Kellen's profession is honest work. If you have a problem with that, keep it to yourself. Board member Flint approached next. Sutton, might I speak with you privately? Anything you want to say to me, you can say in front of my husband. Very well. The board has concerns. This marriage, it's very sudden. To someone very unexpected. We worry about fortune hunters and questionable judgment. Kellen signed a prenuptial agreement. He has no access to Whitmore Industries or my inheritance beyond what I choose to give him. Your concerns are unfounded. Still, the optics of me marrying who I choose instead of who you choose. I'm fine with those optics. Thaddeus cornered them by the bar. This is quite the statement, Sutton. Marrying the building janitor to spite your family. Very rebellious. I didn't marry Kellen to spite anyone. I married him because I wanted to. Really? Or because he walked in at a convenient moment during your tantrum. Everyone knows about your declaration. I'll marry the first man who walks in. He just happened to be that man. That's not romance. That's recklessness. And marrying you for business connections would have been what? Smart? I'd take reckless over calculated any day. You'll regret this, Thaddeus said coldly, when the novelty wears off and you realize you've tied yourself to someone completely unsuitable. After Thaddeus walked away, Kellen said quietly, he's not wrong. I am unsuitable for your world. My world is the problem, not you. Kellen, I'm sorry you're experiencing this. I expected it. Rich people protecting their own from outsiders. Tale as old as time. Later, Cordelia pulled Sutton aside with tears in her eyes. How could you do this to us? Marrying a black janitor. What will people think? That I married someone I chose instead of someone you chose. If that embarrasses you, that's your problem. This isn't about embarrassment. It's about propriety, about our reputation. It's about control. You wanted to control my marriage, my life, my choices. I'm not letting you. If you can't accept Kellen, you can't be part of my life. You're choosing him over your family. I'm choosing my freedom over your control. If you want to be in my life, you'll respect my marriage. If not, there's the door. The evening ended with Sutton and Kellen exhausted, but united in their shared experience of her family's awfulness. Thank you, Sutton said in the car home, for handling that with grace. They were horrible. They were predictable. Rich white family confronted with poor black son-in-law. I knew what to expect. But Sutton, you defended me. Against your family, your friends, everyone. Why? Because you're my husband. Fake or not, that means something. You deserve respect. Most people in your position wouldn't think that way. Then most people are wrong. Kellen, we're in this together. Partners. That means I have your back. And I have yours. Even against your terrible family. Back at the penthouse, the exhaustion caught up with them both. I need to tell you something, Kellen said. My sister Imani wants to meet you. My mother Celestine, too. They're concerned about this marriage. They think you might be using me. Using you? You're getting paid $100,000. They don't know about the money. I told them I married you because we fell in love. They're skeptical but willing to meet you. Would you be willing? Of course. When? This weekend? Sunday dinner at my mother's? I'll be there. But Kellen, should we tell them the truth? That this is an arrangement? No. My mother would be horrified I married for money. She raised me better than that. We maintain the love story with my family too. So, we're lying to everyone. We're protecting our arrangement. There's a difference. Sunday dinner at Celestine Wade's modest home in Queens was a different universe from the Whitmore estate. The house was small but warm, filled with family photos and the smell of home cooking. So you're Sutton, Celestine said, her assessment immediate and thorough. The woman who married my son after knowing him 5 minutes. I know it seems sudden. It seems reckless, both of you. But Kellen says you make him happy, so I'm willing to give you a chance. Just know I'm watching. If you hurt my son, we'll have problems. Imani was less diplomatic. You're a millionaire. My brother's a janitor. Explain how that works. We connected despite our different backgrounds. Sutton explained, reciting their cover story. Class doesn't matter when you actually care about someone. That's romantic nonsense. Class always matters. So why really? Why marry Kellen? Because I love him. The lie felt more real each time Sutton said it, which was concerning because this was supposed to be purely transactional. Over dinner, Celestine asked pointed questions about their relationship, their plans, their future. Sutton answered carefully, aware that one slip could reveal the truth. Where will you live? Your penthouse or somewhere together you choose? The penthouse for now. We're looking for something that feels like both our homes. And children? Are you planning a family? The question caught Sutton off guard. Children hadn't been part of the arrangement. We're not rushing that decision. We want to enjoy being married first. Smart. Too many young people rush into parenthood. Take your time. Know each other first. After dinner, Imani pulled Kellen aside while Sutton helped Celestine with dishes. Brother, be real with me. What's going on? You don't marry someone after knowing them a week unless something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. I fell for her fast. It happens. Not to you. You're careful, deliberate. This isn't like you. Maybe I was tired of being careful. Maybe I wanted something spontaneous for once. Or maybe she's paying you. Kellen, I'm not stupid. You suddenly have money for mom's surgery and my tuition. A week after marrying a millionaire? That's not coincidence. Sutton's been generous. She's buying you, and you're letting her. Brother, what happens when this arrangement ends? When she gets bored of her rebellion and leaves you? You'll be the poor black guy who married a rich white woman for money. That label follows you forever. Or maybe we'll make it work. This is real. Is it? Because from where I'm standing, this looks like a transaction disguised as romance. And Kellen, transactions end. What then? In the kitchen, Celestine asked Sutton similar questions. Why my son? You could have anyone. Why choose Kellen? Because he's genuine. Everyone in my world wants something. Access, connections, money. Kellen just wants to be happy. That's rare and valuable. But you're from different worlds, different backgrounds, different experiences. How do you bridge that? By choosing to. Every day. Celestine, I know you're skeptical, but I promise I care about your son. I'm not going to hurt him. You can't promise that. People hurt each other even when they don't mean to. But Sutton, I'll tell you this. If you do hurt him, intentionally or not, you'll answer to me. Clear? Crystal clear. The drive back to Manhattan was quiet. Your family's wonderful, Sutton finally said. They're skeptical, especially Imani. She thinks I'm paying you. She's not wrong. No. But Kellen, it felt wrong tonight. Lying to your mother, to Imani. They deserve the truth. The truth would devastate my mother. She raised me to value integrity over money. Finding out I married for a paycheck would break her heart. So we keep lying. We keep protecting people we care about from uncomfortable truths. Isn't that what you're doing with your family? Letting them think this is real? I suppose. But the lies are getting complicated. Then we need to keep our story straight. Because if anyone finds out this is fake, we both lose everything. That night, in their separate bedrooms, both Sutton and Kellen lay awake thinking the same thing. The lies were getting easier to tell because they were starting to feel less like lies. And that was dangerous for an arrangement that was supposed to end. How's this story hitting you so far? Tell us in the comments. If you're loving it, type 1. If not, type 0. We want to know what you think. 3 months into their arrangement, something unexpected happened. Sutton and Kellen actually became friends. It started with small things, sharing breakfast before Kellen left for work, watching movies together in the evening, talking about their days. They developed inside jokes, learned each other's habits, became comfortable in ways that went beyond their contract. You're different than I expected, Kellen said one evening while they cooked dinner together. Different how? Less entitled? More human? I expected you to be a spoiled rich woman using me for convenience. You're actually kind. And you're more than a janitor accepting money for a fake marriage. You're brilliant, Kellen. The observations you make, the way you understand people. You're wasted cleaning buildings. Can't afford to be anything else. Education costs money I don't have. But you could. Your contract includes monthly payments. You could use that money for school, career development, whatever you want. I'm using it for my family. Your mother's surgery is paid for. Aunt Imani's tuition is covered. What about you? What do you want? The question caught Kellen off guard. No one had asked what he wanted in years. His wants had always been secondary to survival. I wanted to be a teacher. Before life happened, before my father left and money got tight, I wanted to teach history, help kids understand the world. Then do it. Go back to school, I'll support you. That's not part of our arrangement. I'm changing our arrangement. Kellen, you're doing me this huge favor. Let me do something for you beyond money. Let me help you build the life you want. Why would you do that? Because you deserve it. And because I've started thinking of you as more than a business arrangement. You're my friend. Friends help each other. The word friend felt simultaneously too much and not enough for what they were becoming. Their growing closeness didn't go unnoticed. Waverly confronted Sutton during lunch. You're falling for him. Your fake husband. You're actually falling for him? I'm not. Don't lie to me. I see how you look at Kellen, how you talk about him. Sutton, this was supposed to be temporary. What are you doing? I don't know. We were just supposed to be business partners, in a legal arrangement. But Waverly, he's amazing. Smart, kind, funny when he lets his guard down. Being with him is easy in ways nothing else in my life has been. He's your employee. You're paying him to be your husband. He's not an employee. He's a partner in an arrangement that's evolved. Is it so wrong that we've become friends? Friends is one thing, but you're developing real feelings. What happens when this arrangement ends? When you divorce like planned? I don't know, but I can't unfeel what I'm feeling. Meanwhile, Kellen dealt with his own complications. Callum pulled him aside at work. Man, you need to be careful. People are talking about you and Sutton, about how a janitor married a millionaire. The assumptions are ugly. Let them assume. I know the truth. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you're starting to believe the lie. You talk about her constantly. Sutton said this. Sutton thinks that. Brother, you're catching feelings for a woman who's paying you to play house. It's not playing house. It's exactly playing house. You're not really married, not in any way that counts. This ends. What happens to your feelings then? I don't know. But Callum, what if it doesn't have to end? What if this could become real? Reality check. She's a millionaire. You're a janitor she hired. That power imbalance doesn't just disappear because you've developed feelings. She holds all the cards. When this arrangement stops serving her purpose, it ends. Where does that leave you? The question haunted Kellen. He'd entered this arrangement for money, but somewhere along the way, his reasons had changed. He wasn't staying for the paycheck anymore. He was staying because he'd fallen for Sutton. Actually, completely fallen for his fake wife, and he had no idea what to do about it. 6 months into their marriage, during a quiet evening at home, Sutton finally voiced what they'd both been feeling. Kellen, we need to talk. About us. What about us? This arrangement. It's changed. We're not just business partners anymore. I don't know what we are. Friends? More than friends, at least for me. Kellen, I've developed feelings for you. Real feelings. And I need to know if that's mutual or if I'm alone in this. Kellen's heart raced. You have feelings for me? Yes. Completely inappropriate, totally unplanned feelings. I know this complicates everything. Our contract says 1 year minimum with possible extension, then clean divorce. But Kellen, I don't want to divorce you. I want this to be real. Sutton, you're paying me to be your husband. I know. That's what makes this so complicated. How do I know your feelings are genuine and not just because I'm your employer in this arrangement? The power dynamic is all wrong. Then let's fix it. End the payments. Tear up the contract. We either stay married because we want to, or we divorce because it's not working. No more money involved. But your family. My mother's surgery is done. Imani's finishing school. I have savings now. I don't need the money anymore. What I need is to know if what we have is real, or just a very convincing performance. It's real for me. Kellen, I fell for you months ago. The way you see the world, the way you treat people with kindness, regardless of status, the way you make me laugh. I love you. Actually love you. I love you too. God, I love you. I've been terrified to say it because I thought you'd think I was just playing my role. But Sutton, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. This stopped being fake the moment I actually got to know you. They kissed, not their brief, performative wedding kiss, but something deep and genuine. 6 months of restrained feelings finally released. So what now? Sutton asked when they finally pulled apart. Now we tear up the contract and figure out if we can make this work for real. No more payments, no more arrangements, just us. What about the trust fund? The whole reason for this marriage. Keep it. You earned it by being married for 6 months. The requirements met. Whatever we do now is our choice, not your family's manipulation. And what do we choose? I choose you. Real marriage, real partnership, real everything. If you'll have me. I already have you. But Kellen, we need to tell people the truth. Your family, my family. They deserve to know this started as an arrangement but became real. They'll judge us. Let them judge. I'm tired of living for other people's approval. If we're doing this for real, we do it honestly. The decision to come clean was terrifying but necessary. They started with Imani, inviting her to the penthouse. I knew it, she said after hearing the truth. I knew this was a transaction. Kellen, how could you? Because I needed money and Sutton needed independence. But Imani, it's real now. We fell for each other. Or you fell for the lifestyle. Brother, how do you know your feelings are genuine when she's been paying you? Because I'm ending the payments. We're tearing up the contract. From now on, we're together because we choose to be, not because of money. Imani studied them both. You really love her. I really do. And you love him, not as charity or rebellion, but genuinely? With everything I am, Sutton answered. Imani, I know this started wrong, but we're trying to make it right. Then you have my support, but if either of you hurts the other, you'll answer to me. Telling Celestine was harder. You married my son for money, she said, disappointment heavy in her voice. Sutton, I trusted you. I know. I'm sorry. It started as a business arrangement, but it became so much more. Celestine, I love your son. Truly love him. Love built on a foundation of lies and money. How can that be real? Because we chose to make it real, Kellen said. Mom, yes, it started as a transaction, but we've built something genuine. We're ending the financial arrangement and staying married because we want to be married. What about your family, Sutton? Do they know? Not yet. We're telling them tomorrow. Telling the Whitmore family was exactly as awful as expected. You married the janitor for a business arrangement? Sterling roared. Sutton, that's fraud. It's not fraud. It's a legal contract that we've now dissolved. The marriage was real in legal terms, even if the original motivation was financial. Now it's real in every way. You expect us to believe you fell in love with the help? I expect you to respect that I made my own choice. And yes, I fell in love with Kellen. Actually fell in love. We're staying married because we want to be married. Cordelia was crying. This is worse than we thought. At least if you'd married him for love initially, it would be foolish but romantic. But a transaction that became love? That's sordid. That's honest evolution. We entered an arrangement for practical reasons and discovered genuine connection. How is that sordid? Because he's black and you're white, he's poor and you're rich, he's a janitor and you're a CEO. So you're saying the races and classes shouldn't mix? Say it explicitly, Mother. Own your prejudice. I'm saying you've made this family a laughingstock. People are talking about the Whitmore heiress who married the janitor. It's humiliating. For you, I'm not humiliated. I'm in love. The board meeting was worse. Granger led the attack. You entered a fraudulent marriage to access your trust fund early. Sutton, that violates the spirit of the fund's conditions. We're freezing your access pending investigation. The marriage was legal. The conditions said married, not married for love. I met the requirements. Through deception. The board questions your judgment and integrity. Perhaps you're not fit to lead Whitmore Industries. My personal life doesn't affect my professional competence. I've increased company value by 40% in 3 years. My marriage doesn't change that. It changes our trust in your decision-making. We're calling a vote. If you want to remain in leadership, you'll need board support. Given recent revelations, that support is uncertain. Flint spoke up. I move we table this vote. Sutton's personal choices, however unconventional, don't negate her professional achievements. Let's not conflate the two. The two are connected, another board member, Lennox, argued. Her judgment in personal matters reflects her overall character. Marrying a janitor for money, then claiming it's love, that's either deception or delusion. Neither inspires confidence. The vote was called. Sutton won by a single vote, just enough to maintain her position, but revealing how fragile her support was. After the meeting, Flint pulled her aside. You almost lost everything today. Your position, your company, your reputation. Was it worth it? For him, yes, because everything I almost lost was built on others' expectations. What I have with Kellen is built on choice. That's worth more. That's naive romanticism. That's knowing what actually matters. I spent years achieving what I was supposed to achieve. Now I'm building what I actually want. If that costs me professional support, so be it. That evening, exhausted from battling their families, Sutton and Kellen collapsed on their couch. We told the truth, and everyone hates us, Kellen summarized. Not everyone. Waverly came around once she saw we're serious. Imani's supportive now. That's something. But your parents, your board, my mother, they're all skeptical. Then we prove them wrong. We show them this is real by actually living it. Kellen, I meant what I said. I choose you. I choose us. Whatever that costs. Even if it costs your company. Even then, my company was never mine anyway. It was my family's expectations. You're my choice. That matters more. You're sure? Because I can walk away. End this cleanly. Let you rebuild your reputation. Don't you dare. Kellen Wade, you're stuck with me. For real this time. No contract, no payments, no arrangement. Just marriage. Real marriage to a woman who's way out of my league. Leagues are illusions. We're partners. Equals. And Kellen, I want to actually be your wife. Not fake, not arranged. Real. Then let's do it right. Let's have an actual wedding. Not City Hall with strangers. Something meaningful with people who support us. Celebrating what's real. A vow renewal? After 6 months? A real wedding. Because the first one was legal, but not genuine. This time, we mean it. 3 months later, 9 months after their City Hall ceremony, Sutton and Kellen held a real wedding. It was small, intimate, only people who genuinely supported them. Waverly stood as Sutton's maid of honor. Callum as Kellen's best man. Imani attended, Celestine too, still skeptical but present. None of the Whitmore family came, but that was their choice. We're gathered here to celebrate Sutton and Kellen's commitment. The officiant began. They've asked to speak their own vows. Sutton went first, voice shaking with emotion. Kellen, 9 months ago, I made an insane declaration that I'd marry the first man who walked through a door. You walked in, and my life changed forever. What started as a reckless arrangement became the most real thing I've ever experienced. You've shown me what love looks like. Not grand gestures or expensive gifts, but daily kindness, genuine partnership, someone who sees me beyond wealth or status. I promise to keep choosing you, to face every challenge beside you, to build a life that honors both our truths. I love you, completely. Kellen's voice was equally emotional. Sutton, I walked into that study to empty trash. I walked out engaged to a woman I didn't know. The weirdest start to any relationship in history. But somewhere in that weirdness, I found love. You've challenged every assumption I had about wealthy people, about what's possible for someone from my background, about love itself. You showed me that bridges can be built across any divide, if both people are willing to walk toward each other. I promise to keep walking toward you, to love you beyond our differences, to be your partner in everything. I love you, permanently. They exchanged new rings, simple bands they'd chosen together, replacing the hastily purchased ones from City Hall. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Again, for real this time. You may kiss your bride. The kiss was everything their first one wasn't. Passionate, genuine, celebrating something real and chosen. At the small reception, Celestine approached Sutton. I was wrong about you. I thought you were using my son. But watching you together, seeing how you look at each other, that's real love. I'm sorry I doubted you. You had every reason to doubt. But Celestine, I promise, I love your son with everything I am. I know. Take care of him. And Sutton, thank you for making him happy. He deserves that. Imani's toast was characteristically blunt. When Kellen told me he'd married a millionaire after knowing her 5 minutes, I thought he'd lost his mind. Turns out he'd found his heart. Sutton, you better treat my brother right. He's the best man I know. Welcome to the family. For real this time. As the evening ended, Sutton and Kellen stood together watching their small group of supporters celebrate. We did it, Kellen said. Actually did it. Real marriage, real love, real everything. No more arrangements? No more arrangements. Just us. How does that feel? Terrifying and perfect. Kellen, I have no idea how to be actually married. The first time was fake. This time, it matters. Then we figure it out together. Making mistakes, learning, growing. That's what real marriage is. What about the complications? Your family's concerns, my family's disapproval, society's judgment about our interracial, cross-class marriage? We face them together. Sutton, I'm not naive. We'll deal with racism, classism, people who think we don't belong together. But we've already proven we can handle judgment. We just keep choosing each other. Every day. Every single day. How's this story hitting you so far? Tell us in the comments. If you're loving it, type 1. If not, type 0. We want to know what you think. 5 years after Kellen walked into that study to empty trash and walked out engaged, they'd built something extraordinary. Kellen had returned to school, earning his teaching degree with Sutton support. He now taught history at an inner-city high school. Finally living his dream of helping kids understand the world, Sutton had restructured her role at Whitmore Industries, stepping back from daily operations to focus on philanthropic work, using her wealth to fund education programs in underserved communities. They also had twin daughters, Harper and Sloane, who were growing up understanding that love transcended every barrier their parents had faced. "Tell us how you met," 3-year-old Harper demanded one evening. "Well," Sutton began, "Mommy made a silly promise that she'd marry the first man who walked through a door, and Daddy walked in. That's not romantic." "It wasn't," Kellen agreed. "It was crazy. But sometimes the craziest beginnings lead to the best endings." "Did you love Mommy right away?" "No, I thought she was insane. But I agreed to marry her anyway because I needed money, and she needed freedom." "You married for money?" Sloane looked scandalized. "We did. It was a business arrangement. But then something amazing happened. We actually fell in love. We chose to turn something fake into something real." "That is romantic," Harper declared. As the girls ran off to play, Sutton and Kellen reflected on their journey. "Can you believe it's been 5 years since that insane day?" "Barely. I still remember thinking you'd lost your mind. I'll marry the first man who walks in." What were the odds that man would be me? Fate? Luck? Divine intervention? I don't know what brought you to that door at that exact moment, but I'm grateful for it every day. Even with everything we faced, the judgment, the racism, the classism, your family's disapproval, especially with all that, because we proved that love can transcend anything. Our differences, race, class, background, they could have destroyed us. Instead, they made us stronger because we chose each other, despite them. My mother came around eventually. She loves you now, after 5 years of proving we're real. I don't blame her for being skeptical. We started as a transaction. That's hard to move past. But we did move past it. Sutton, when I walked into that study 5 years ago, I was just trying to do my job. I had no idea that moment would change my entire life. Mine too. I was trapped, desperate, making rash declarations. And you appeared like some kind of answer I hadn't known to ask for. An answer covered in cleaning supplies. The best kind of answer. Kellen, thank you. For what? For being stubborn enough to say yes to my insane proposal. For seeing past the money to the desperate woman underneath. For choosing to make something fake into something real. For loving me, despite all my difficult edges. For building this beautiful life with me. Thank you for taking a chance on a janitor who walked in at exactly the wrong or right moment. For treating me as an equal when I had no status. For choosing love over fear, real over fake, us over everyone's opinions. Sutton Wade, you're the best decision I never planned to make. And you're mine. My beautiful accident. My perfect coincidence. My real love. They kissed on their porch. Two people who'd started with the most transactional of arrangements and built the most genuine of loves, proving that sometimes the craziest beginnings lead to the most beautiful endings. "I'll marry the first man who walks in," she declared recklessly. A black janitor stepped in, and they spent the rest of their lives proving that when you're brave enough to turn fake into real, when you choose connection over comfort, when you love across every divide society constructs, anything becomes possible, including happily ever after.